Now I will talk about Colombia's situation in nutrition. This is my country, 47 million people and 26 million females, actually. This is the main source of information about the nutritional situation in Colombia. We started to do this in 2005, and we do every 5 years. These years, in the next month, we'll finish the last one, but the data will be available just in February next year. 98% of pregnant women attended at least one medical consult. It's a big chance to improve the education. All the deliveries and pregnant attention in my country are made by physicians. We have no midwives in my country. But the problem is that only 22% attend a preconceptional control. During adolescence and preconception, 10% of adolescents between 12 and 17 years old have stunting growth. 1 in 6 adolescents are overweight or are obese, and the prevalence of overweight and obesity has increased almost 26% in the last 5 years. Talking about food security, 43% of homes in Colombia doesn't have enough food or low quality food in their homes. And the proportion of daily frequencies of consumption by food groups in pregnant show this. 1 of 3 pregnant women don't eat fruit, don't drink milk, and 2 of 3 of the pregnant women do not eat vegetables. This is a problem. It's a worldwide problem, and it still do in my country too. Half of the Colombian population are obesity or overweight, but the problem is here in the pregnancy. Almost 35% of pregnant women now are obesity or overweight. Colombia have twice more females than males obesity. This is a Fernando Botero. He's a famous artist for my country. Was painting 25 years ago. But actually, probably this is the best representation of the family in Colombia. Everybody are obese, including the cat. Talking about anemia, just in women, we have a problem in this group of population during the first 5 years. And it's a problem because it increases the risk for infections, impaired fetal child growth. But we have this big problem in my country. 52% of pregnancy women are anemic, and that is a high risk for death during the labor, especially with bleeding. 26% of the pregnant in my country come from teenagers. And many pregnancies, especially those, are unplanned. The first prenatal visit is relatively late to address some risk factor, and that risk factor affect very early development of the fetus. This is the goal for breastfeeding, the 6 months. But in the last 10 years, we just have 2 months of exclusive breastfeeding in my country. And almost 14, 15 months for total breastfeeding. So we have challenges. The first one is anemia. It's a big problem. Maternal nutrition currently lacks micronutrients. We don't have a nutritional program in the healthcare system. The doctors don't know about nutrition. More education is needed around glycemic load. Obesity and diabetes are increasing, and malnutrition in obese women is increasing too. But we have local solutions. We promote strongly the use of fortification and supplementation during the pregnancy and before the pregnancy in the preconception period. Especially now, it's a government law, give iron, folic acid, and calcium during all the pregnancy. And we promote multiple micronutrient supplementation when it's appropriate, and promote the use of guidelines for healthcare providers. We have a success. 10 years ago, when we adopted the floor fortification, we chose a difference between the prevalence of spina bifida and anencephalia. They decreased to 57% and 46%. We have lower prevalence of those disease. We want to avoid those. And probably this is the big goal in my country. Was a success. 3 years ago, the scientific societies, university, and the government start to work together and launch 2 years ago these guidelines. This is a life course strategy, starting preconception during all the different stages of the life. The key is information, education, and communication in all the stages. But we have some special focus in every stage. For example, in preconception, fortification with folic acid to avoid neural tube defects, avoid early clamping in the cord blood, give supplementation. 2 years ago, this supplementation started before the conception, but stop after the delivery. Now we change that. We are still doing the supplementation during the next 6 months after the delivery. Deworming is very important after the 1 year, and breastfeeding. And actually, like I told you before, the fortification and biofortification of the food. And we try to put in all the hands of the doctors and healthcare providers this information. So we did these guidelines and put them in the internet, but do some application for the smartphone. We have 47 million people, but we have 75 million cell phones in my country. So it's easy to everybody have this information in their home. So remember, if you want to improve the future, think nutrition first. Thank you very much.